Hi, everybody. Welcome to another English class here on Verbling.com. My name is Lisa. I'm one of the English teachers here at Verbling. And in this hour, we're going to be having a speaking class. So this is your opportunity to practice speaking English, which is one of the things that most people want to practice as much as they can, especially because it can be difficult to find people to speak with. So this is your opportunity. So if you have a reservation, of course, you can use your reservation now. It did say that we had a fully booked class, but you never know who is actually going to show up. So if you have a reservation, you have the first 2 minutes to use the reservation. But if you don't use it, then it opens, the class will be open to everybody. So all you have to do is click on the Join Class button, and then you will come in to the Google Hangouts here with me and Rashid and join us. So, hi Rashid, how are you?
Hi Lisa, how are you? Yeah,
I'm doing
I want
well.
to I want to congratulate you because this is your 1000th Verbling class.
You know,
New class.
actually, this is probably over 2,000 Verbling class, but
Over 2000.
yes, I don't know. I didn't ask the engineers, but when they did the last change to the
Mm,
website,
mm.
it messed up all of our class
Oh,
numbers and everything. But the person who used to follow that was Hamid, and he would make some special videos for me for my 1,000th one. I think we had a 2,000 one, so it's many more than 1,000, but I don't know
many
what the
more.
correct,
Okay.
many more. I just don't know what the correct number is because the data got messed up, I guess. I don't know what happened, but
Okay, so Lisa,
yeah, it's not correct.
I can't give you a present then. But
I always accept presents, but no, it's not accurate, and I don't know why. So
okay.
yeah, I might bring it up to them. I didn't know if they were going to fix that or not, but yeah, good. It's funny that you brought it up because I was wondering if they were going to
To
try to
fix it.
fix it or not. Yeah, so interesting. Okay, hi everybody, welcome. Come on in. Hi Raphael.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for asking you.
I'm doing well, thanks. How's your summer going?
The summer.
Yeah.
Well, it's been lighter than last week. At least this week the days were colder. So
Really? Oh, okay.
we we weren't we we didn't suffer as
As much.
always. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. You got a little cooler weather. Nice. Okay. Let's see, Rashid. I'm gonna mute you. I think there's some background noise. Maybe it's with Rebecca. I don't know. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks. Welcome. How are you doing?
Well, so far it was a nice day.
Oh, good. All right. Good. And hi, Wellington.
Hi, Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing well. Is this your day for Verbling classes?
Sorry?
Is this your day for Verbling classes?
No. Today I only did, I think, 2 or 3 classes.
Only?
Uh,
Okay.
yes,
That's pretty
there are
good.
there are weekends where I do a little, I think, 6 or 7 classes per
Oh
day.
my. Wow.
Yeah.
That's like a full-time student.
I need to improve my English.
Great. Awesome. Well, that's what we're here for. So yeah. And Amparo, how are you?
Hi, teacher. Doing well, thank you.
I was thinking about during the role plays afterwards. I was thinking that you probably have had experience already planning birthday parties and things like that.
Yes, because my family is a big one.
Right?
We
Yeah.
have to prepare parties. Yeah.
Yeah, you must have parties like every month. Somebody has a birthday.
Yes, tomorrow we went on my sister-in-law's birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yep. See, how you go. Cool. Okay, guys. Well, this hour is another speaking class. We had one earlier, but we did some fun role playing. But this one is where we're going to talk about a topic. And the topic that I chose for this hour is the topic of gender roles. And we're going to look at some of these questions. I show this page not because we're going to do everything on this page, but to give us some ideas and help us with our conversation. And I also think it's a good idea for you guys to look at questions. One of the things that you do when you speak to anybody, you're having a conversation, is to ask each other questions, asking questions, answering questions. So one thing to practice and to get good at in English is how to make a good question. So that's another part of this type of class, is to ask you guys the questions and then to have you answer them. So we're not going to get to all of these questions, but we're going to look at some, but you can look at the other ones while we're talking and stuff too. Hopefully we'll have Raphael come back. I know that some people have had connection problems today. I had a connection problem yesterday towards the end of class. I dropped out because my internet provider has been very bad lately.
I had it too.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I hope they keep working on that technology so it gets more solid, so we don't have those interruptions. But it's okay. If we do, we just hope you guys come back. And if I go out for some reason, I'll try to come back as soon as possible. You never know what's happening. Okay, so the gender roles, that basically is the idea of, what do men do in your culture, in your society, in the world, we could even say, and what do women do? And maybe more in the past, more than now anyways, we've had what we call traditional roles or typical roles, and I think everybody pretty much knows what those are. Some people think they are maybe biological, but some people also think they're cultural. Some people base them on religion. So maybe they have a religious background of why a man does something or a woman does something. So let's just go through some of these questions. And if you see a question that you think would be interesting to talk about, then we can do that one as well. Just tell me you want to do that. Otherwise, I'll probably just look through these myself and choose a couple, and that will get us started on the conversation, and then I'll probably ask some different questions as well. But I do think this is an interesting one to start off with, and that is, do you see yourself as a typical man or as a typical woman, and why or why not? So you would have to tell us, like, why and what does that look like in your culture, or why not? What would be the things that you're doing differently? Okay, why don't we start with Wellington? So Wellington, are you do you see yourself, I guess, as a typical man in Brazil?
No, because, for example, I don't like football, soccer.
Okay.
So I prefer other games, other sports, and because this and other things. I cook when is necessary, and I was created by my mother, so I think I learned a lot with her. Because this I think I treat you the women, I think. Better than other men.
Okay.
My sight, my vision. I have many girls. Not I have many friends.
Uh-huh.
Many women friends because just I think understand I understand that they're better than others.
Hmm.
I think.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Well, I think Amparo and I both agree that your first example was really important for the typical Brazilian man likes soccer and you don't. So
Yeah.
that's the first part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, good. I think there's a little bit of noise too in the background there, so you can just mute your microphone when we go to the next person. Okay, let's go to Rebecca. So, Rebecca, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a typical Spanish woman?
I wouldn't consider myself a typical Spanish woman because, most women in Spain, and I think around the world, all over the world, want to get married and have children, that kind of
Okay.
life. And I'm not interested at all in that life. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have children, So I like to be alone. I'm very independent and enjoy a lot my time doing my things. I don't need a partner with me, but I wouldn't like it.
No, okay, yeah. I would say that's not. I think what you said was true. Like, the typical. When we say typical, it's like the average person. Sometimes it also means like traditional, but that would be true. A lot of women, they're thinking about getting married, thinking about having children, and
Yeah,
sometimes
but that is a kind of mentality,
Yes.
Like,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah. No.
in my case, I think it's not like the average because
Right. Yeah.
at least most women. I don't know in your country, but in my country, want to do that kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the United States, it has changed, but still, even people who consider themselves modern women, they want to have a career, but I think they still kind of look to get married and to have children. Although I do think it's changing more and more. A lot of women are not necessarily needing to get married. Maybe they want to have a partner or something, but they don't need to get married.
Well, maybe I would consider to get married in the future, but I'm sure I don't want to have children.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think a lot more people, women especially, are choosing that option. Yeah, today. Yeah, but it hasn't been typical. Yeah, that's a new thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because so far women always had children. Always.
Yes, and sometimes a lot of them. So.
Oh yes. Years ago it was. I don't know there, but in Spain, at least you could find families with 10 and 11 children.
Oh yeah! Wow. Yeah, I have 3, and that seems like a lot here. The average is 2.
Oh yes, 3 sounds like my God. Okay, but congratulations on that.
Yeah. Okay. So, Rafael, you're back. Good. What do you think about yourself, Rafael? Do you see yourself as a typical Brazilian man, or why not?
Honestly, I'm trying to figure out what is my behavior, because sometimes I don't. Sometimes I feel that I don't fit in the society as general. I don't know. I'm a little shy. I'm shy, and I have some difficulty to communicate with other people. So when I'm in public, I feel difficulty. I feel a hard time trying to speak in public. On the other hand, my friends, they speak freely. they find it easy to speak in public and express themselves. So well, since it's really hot here, it's normal for men go outside without shirts, you know.
Yeah.
But I honestly I don't like it. I hate it. I find really disturbing, and I don't know. I don't feel comfortable going outside without shirt, and I don't like. In general, I don't see myself. I try to put myself in a place that other people can consider me and as a let me put normal person.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have my quirks, but in general, I'm a normal person, and within the society's how can I say standard or something like that.
Yeah, maybe sometimes I was thinking even nowadays saying something, using the word typical is kind of hard because we do have so much diversity nowadays, and we have more acceptance of diversity, whereas maybe in the past, you know, a woman had to be like this and a man had to be like this, unless it, you know, and if they weren't, they were seen as too different, you know, and people didn't like it. But now, you know, the typical man may not just be a soccer-loving, beer-drinking, macho kind of guy, you know. A typical man might be more, you know, like what Wellington said, respectful with women, have friends that are both men and women. I don't know. So I think maybe things are changing. But it's interesting because the question is, how do you see yourself? So I think you answered that. You're kind of, you see yourself as a kind of a shy person, a more modest person when you compare yourself to other guys, maybe. Is that correct?
Yes, as long as you respect other people, and at least as long as you fit, at least you fit the minimum requirements. How can I say requirements of society? I think you have to live on your own. You have to be yourself.
Yeah. 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 I think that's much more common nowadays too. More support for the idea of being yourself. So yeah, at least in a lot of countries. Maybe not every country around the world right now, but in Brazil, yeah, the United States. Okay, let's hear from Rashid. Rashid, so you're from Morocco, but you're living in the Netherlands. So you might actually have some, you might have observed some differences. I don't know, in what it means to be a man in different countries. How do you see yourself? Rashid, your microphone is muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you now.
In my culture, then I mean the culture in the Netherlands.
You can answer it however you want. Yeah. How do you see yourself?
Yes, and I think I'm typical man because I help my wife with the household and also with the cooking and that kind of things, and that's very normal in the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands, okay.
Yes. Further, the Netherlands, the men are always complaining, and so do I. I mean, complaining about the weather, about the politics.
Yeah.
That kind of things, always complaining. And yeah, so I'm also so I always complaining too. But one thing, don't make me typical man because I'm 40 years old and I don't have children yet.
So, okay.
And I think the typical man who's 40 years old, with who's married, he have almost have children, I think, but
yeah, perhaps. Are you thinking of having children?
Yes, yes, but they are not coming yet, so
They're not ready yet.
not ready yet.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because I would say that still probably in the United States, a man of 40, it is typical that you're married and you have children. Actually, what might be more typical is that you're divorced and you're married for the second time and you have children. And or you're starting to go through some kind of midlife crisis. But yeah.
Yes. No, I have no midlife. I have no midlife crisis.
Okay, good.
No. I have no time. I haven't the time for it. So
No time for that.
no time for that. Yes.
Well, the big question is, do you like soccer, football?
Yeah. I used to play soccer, but not to watch it.
Yeah.
Only to play it. But in the
Yeah.
Netherlands they are good football players, but not they haven't the culture from Brazil, but they are very good in soccer, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a really good team in the World Cup.
Yes. In 2010, I thought they were the second one, in Brazil.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, after Spain, I think it was. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, which is pretty amazing for such a tiny country. So the Netherlands has some talented soccer players for sure.
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right, let's keep moving on. Amparo made some comments in the chat about the men. That's true.
Well, in my case, I think it is part of typical. Part of me, it's not typical. In some aspect of, for example, here it's not common that many women study technician careers. Engineering, like electronic engineering, it's just maybe 10 students are women and 100 are men. So it's a situation in that about my field. Yes, it's a typical. But in normal life, or for example, for me it's typical. If I am not I got married yet, well, I still live with my parents. That is typical here.
Yeah.
And I able to do the tasks at home. I know how to do it, like a typical woman.
Like cooking.
Like cooking, yeah, or ironing.
Ironing.
Yeah.
Cleaning.
Yeah. Yeah. Even when I don't like cleaning, but well. Yeah. In that aspect, I think it is like a typical, but it's not typical that the women, the kind of women that go to the gym, go to the beauty salon every week, or paint their nails or something. No, or just follow the last style, hairstyle, or the clothes with well. In style every time? No,
yeah,
it's not
changing your style.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it funny that I think, the reality is we have these ideas of what a typical woman might be, but then actually a lot of women don't do that. So I think, obviously our ideas have been shaped by media, by, TV shows, things like this, because a lot of women don't care that much about clothes. Some do, and they shop a lot, and they love doing that.
And for example, men have the conception that women spend a lot of time in shopping.
Yeah.
Well, I am not in that group. That is, I prefer just go to buy what I need, but I don't like to spend too much time there. So in some aspect, I think that I am not a typical woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. Alexi. Hi, Alexi.
Hello. Hi, Lisa.
So we actually are just working on this first question up at the top there. So do you see yourself as a typical man?
Mhm.
in your country? To remind me which country you're in. I can't remember. Is it Belarus or
Ukraine.
Ukraine? Okay, Ukraine. Sorry. Okay, Ukraine. So would you consider yourself a typical Ukrainian man?
Mhm. Okay, I think I'm not typical the Ukrainian man because uh, I'm more uh, calm and I more polite to other people, and I'm not so arrogant like so many people who with anger attitude to other people, and uh, I think I am not typical because I don't know anyone who learn English in the age of mine at 36 years. I'm 36 years old, and now I see mm, the people who younger study English, but in my age, I don't know anybody who study English.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. That's a good differentiation there. Yeah. Distinction.
I can
Yeah.
hear you clear.
I said that's a good distinction that you made, to consider yourself not typical, because a typical man of your age in the Ukraine isn't studying English right now.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yes, they spend time they watching TV or drink beer, and they discuss policy, but I don't like policy at all.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
care about policy in country. I think everybody should how can I say
What do you want to say? People should do.
should consider their problems about what they happen what they surround them, and
like pay attention more to their family and their life than other. Okay.
Yes, their lives they shouldn't throw away trash in the streets, and they
Take responsibility. Okay.
yes.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so maybe instead of talking about what other people are doing, talk about just what you're doing and take responsibility. I see.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
my opinion.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Cool. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to skip down to this one. I think would be interesting, because what's interesting is the cross-cultural thing. Everybody's coming from different countries, and everybody also is, different ages, and maybe these things change over time, and also in your culture. So let's go back to Wellington. Wellington, do you think that in Brazil, in your opinion, are there different expectations for sons and for daughters?
It's depend. For example, if the man, the father, like football, sometimes they hope that his son, play football.
Yeah, be a famous soccer player.
Yes. His son became a player of football.
Yeah.
But in general, I think the expectations are the same. Now, I think our reality. We hope that the girl, the boy, became a great person, a good person, that they study to have good opportunities, to look for good friends, and I think now is the same. Now it's the same. And of course, for the girls to looking for a good guy to marry, but I think the mentality is changing, the mind is changing now. I think it's the same expectation in general.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. You know, I just forgot. I skipped over Tara. Tara, hi there.
Hi, teacher Lisa.
I forgot to go back to you on the first question that we were doing.
No, it's okay.
So, okay, Tara, remind me what country you're in.
Me? I'm from Iraq.
Iraq. Okay. Well, Tara, do you see yourself as a typical man in Iraq?
I hear a noise, teacher Lisa, so I don't hear you.
Let me see. Wellington, let's try muting you. Let's see if that helps. How's that, Tara?
Yeah, it's okay now. So, but what do you mean about typical exactly?
Typical means like when you, it's kind of like the stereotype, the average person. So in each culture, we say men do this and they are like this, or women, they mostly do this, and it's not necessarily true, but
yeah, I
how
think
do you see yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm like this. I mean, typical man.
Yeah. So, in what ways? Because I don't know if you were here when Rashid, he was saying that he's a typical man, and he gave some examples like he's married.
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you hear me?
Hello, you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
I hear you.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said because my connection maybe it is broken.
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
What would be an example of why you think you're a typical man?
In my case here, and I live in Iraq, in south of Iraq, in a city called Basra. So the man, for instance, didn't do anything like chores or what you call this, house chores, yeah, like washing dishes or something like that, or washing clothes. No, we don't do this. The women, this is the rule for women, and we don't cook or something like that. So yeah, I don't do this kind of work in my house.
Right.
Okay.
So you have so your job as a man then is what? To work at a job or to bring home money? What?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I have a job, but at the same time, my wife also has a job, but she do, I mean, two things: her job and the chores inside the house. Yeah. So I think the women here in my culture, it is more. They do more work than the man. Yeah.
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 Okay. So does this?
We are so lazy. I mean, the man.
So if when she's cleaning up the house, what do you do?
Watching TV. Yeah.
Typical man. Okay, yeah, you're the typical man.
Yes, I told you.
Yeah. All right, good. So so then in Iraq, it sounds like then that there are probably very different expectations for a son or a daughter. Would that be true?
Yes, that's true, because I don't know, but the truth should be told. I think almost, I don't say all, but almost all people, they prefer to have a son more than they prefer to have a daughter. I don't know why, but this is what happened here.
Yeah, we had a class on that the other day, and it's actually a really big problem right now in India. Many traditional cultures, the way that they're set up, they prefer to have a son because the son, they have the special role in the family. The son is seen as maybe having more power. The son is going to help the parents when they get older and this type of thing. But it's become a real problem, we read, because there are now 7 million more men than women in India. So in terms of, you know, people finding partners, getting married, this type of thing, it's very we could say out of balance. So it's interesting that people still prefer sons when a son needs a wife, if you want to have a wife, unless you want to have a bunch of guys that don't have partners.
Sorry, a question. What do they do if they realize that there is a woman, when a woman is pregnant? They simply abort?
In India, in the article that we read, yes, they get an ultrasound, and so what they're doing, they call it gender selection, and so it's banned. You're not supposed to do this. It's against the law, but of course, the culture is very strong, and so they abort. They abort the fetus, which is a female, a baby girl. Yeah. So that's how they do it, because that's what they prefer. That's their culture. And so the government in India now is making a campaign, and they're trying to educate the people to stop doing that, and educating them, you know, to treat girls and boys equally, and to nurture their girls, you know. So, yeah, it's become a big problem apparently over there. We read an article about it the other day. But, yeah. But it's not the only culture. Certainly Chinese culture, I think the Middle Eastern cultures, a lot of cultures traditionally have preferred boys over girls. But it's kind of getting out of balance, though. Okay, Rebecca, let's go to Spain. And what's going on there nowadays? Are the expectations for sons and daughters different, or pretty much the same these days?
Well, I think the expectations for both are the same in theory, you know. They are allowed to study, of course. Actually, parents want to pay for a good education, but then, you know, the roles are like years ago. Women in the kitchen and men in the living room, you know.
Watching TV.
Yeah.
Watching soccer.
yeah, of course, yeah. Okay, it's like, you know, I'm talking about a specific case, but, you know, it's more than like that, you know.
Still
so it's yeah, in theory it's an open mind, it's a new, you know, new expectation, but in reality it's like years ago. I think it's kind of Spain for me is a how do you call this word, is let me check, is machista in Spanish.
Yeah, well, we might say like a male chauvinist or something.
Yes, you're right. Male chauvinist, you know. So society in Spain is quite male chauvinist. So you know, these days, even women, you know, even women have that mentality.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Right.
So that is the situation from my point of view in this moment.
Okay. Good. Right. So I think what you're saying is, while people kind of talk about it and they maybe think they're open-minded and they're going to change something, it's still pretty much the same as it has been for many years. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Rafael, what about your opinion about expectations? What have you seen in your part of Brazil?
We can see some resemblances and some differences between the two points of view, the two expectations, life expectations. I believe both are trying to focus more in their careers than before. But I believe that there are still old paradigms in which at least girls are prone to choose for more humanitarian careers, or maybe maybe work with medicine or nursery, or maybe become a lawyer or something related. On the other hand, men are more prone to choose for careers related with technology and like engineering, or maybe, as Wellington explained, become an athlete, a sportsman, a football player, or something like that. So
yeah,
regardless of career choice, I believe that in general, men and women or sons and daughters are more. I think they have more vision of future than before.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's true, and Amparo even mentioned it about the careers too. We have a lot of things in the United States where programs that are trying to get girls into what we call the STEM areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. But a lot of people don't want to do that. So a lot of people want to be teachers still, women, nurses, sometimes doctors. Sometimes they just want to be moms, stay home and be moms. But it's interesting, I was watching a little bit of a conference at Davos, I guess, where they've been having the World Summit on economy and stuff, and I noticed that there were some women in some very high-powered positions. The Santander Bank of Spain, the lady there, I think her name was Ana Botín or something like that, and she's the head of the bank. And then there's the lady after
her dad died.
Yeah, she had she had an N. But still, and the other French lady was from the IMF. So there's some women in some powerful positions, but yes, mostly men still. So yeah, few women, and maybe they have connections like Amparo mentioned. Very good. They have some help on their way. Okay, Rashid, what do you think? It's interesting because you have two perspectives of the different cultures. In the Netherlands, where you're living now, what do you see about what people expect of their sons or their daughters? And would it be the same as in Morocco, or is it different in Morocco?
Okay. I will not make it too complex.
Okay.
I focus on the Netherlands, if you
okay, that's fine.
If you don't mind. I think in the Netherlands, the expectation is more or less the same from daughters and sons. From both are expected that they are study and get a good job, those kind of things. But the difference is about dating and that kind of things.
Yeah.
It's expected from the girls that they are not dating too much, and that the boys must date.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That's kind of different, huh?
And it's a little bit old-fashioned, but that's not changed yet, I think.
Yeah.
Further, I think that what we see is that the women have part-time jobs and care for the children, while the men have full-time jobs and help his wife with the household. A little bit strange to say to help because.
Oops. You just muted yourself, Rashid. There you go. Go ahead.
I say, what part of? I say the women have part-time jobs and care for the children, while the men have full-time jobs and help them and help their wife.
Okay.
But in the Netherlands, they also say to help his wife, but it's a little bit strange because, in my opinion, they are both responsible for the household. But that's the culture a little bit here.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, Amparo, what about in Ecuador? What are sons expected to do and daughters? You have watched your brothers and your sisters and, of course, other people in your town. What do you see?
Well, generally here, parents have the same expectation for sons or for daughters. They receive the same education at home, and also they try to give them the same education at the high school or the universities. After that, that is your responsibility. Try to find a job or something that you can just show everything that you have learned. And yes, in general, I think that the expectations are the same. Unfortunately, our society is still more sexist, and for example, in politic politician charges, political charges, most of them are men. Maybe 10% are just women. In general, in the public institution, it's almost the same. There are some roles that just well, the CEO, most of the companies are men, but there is a woman here that is one of the richest women in my country, and she's a woman. Her dad was one of the millionaires here, and that it was she inherited part of that, but she continued with the business, and she is one of the most successful women here.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay. So do you think if you had a son and a daughter, you would pretty much have the same expectations for both of them?
Yes, yes. Generally here is in that way, for example, or they are trying to push the both of them in different activities related with his or her sex. For example, if is a girl, that they try to push her to a ballet classes, or she's a guy just to play soccer or any activity during the vacation, for example, and then well, you see if she or he is good in that extra activity. Well, they try to push them and try to improve their skills.
Okay. All right. I just found this for you guys. If you guys want to look at it, you can just open the link. It's interesting. What will boys do without enough girls? So it's happening in the world. Yeah, Rashid, that wasn't a baby. That was a cat. My cat is getting old, and she is yowling. We call that yowling. It's very loud. It sounds like a baby crying for sure. Yeah. Okay, Alexei, what about in Ukraine? Are there different expectations for sons and daughters?
I think we have the same expectation that's related to sons or to daughters. But in future, when they finish the higher education, the men have more, how can I say?
Opportunities, or
yes, more opportunities than the women, and the women earn 2 times than men. But I know some good example when women make a good political career or financial career in my country. We have these examples, and I think the daughters and sons have same opportunities in my country.
Okay. Okay. All right, Adela. Okay, go ahead. Finish. Yeah.
But when they, for example, sons and daughters is young, I think the daughters more help mother with work in home.
Yeah, the girls help. All right.
Because sons like all time go outside and play soccer and other games. And I think the women more diligent in education and in studying.
In studying, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of girls here. This is in the news a lot. A lot of the girls in school outperform boys. So boys don't have a easy time in school these days. Okay, Adela.
Yes. Hello.
Hello. Welcome. So we had two questions so far. One is, do you see yourself as a typical woman in Spain?
I think has changed. The typical woman, maybe not. I think that doesn't exist.
That's what we were thinking. Yeah, maybe not.
I think. I hope.
Uh-huh.
No, it's my mother or maybe, but I think the new generation is different completely. And maybe if they are a woman in at home, no, the wife typical paper, no, of typical structure. I think is different because they have another activities, not only to clean the house, they go to the gym, they go with friends. So I think it has changed the paper of the woman.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The role. Maybe in some areas. Maybe it's usually how it is in in a country. It's depending on how large your country is. Some places, usually like a city.
Yes, in the city, in the country,
cities.
Different. I think.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah. And what about the expectations for sons and for daughters these days in Spain? Are they different or it's pretty much the same?
It's same expectation to do a good education, a degree, and same expectation to don't have or not have a good job or not have a good salary or to do in an employment list. I think it's same in
the same, yeah.
In bad question too. Yes, because it's a problem in this moment in Spain, the unemployment. I think for is not a gender problem. I think
everybody's having the same problem. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go. We have to choose one that people can answer pretty quickly. So let me just go to this one. Just in your opinion, what do you see now? The idea of what jobs are deemed. That means what jobs seem or people think are appropriate for men, but not for women. So Wellington, in Brazil, what kind of a job do people think is a good for a man, but wouldn't be good for a woman? Do you have any ideas about that?
I'm not sure, but like Rafael said, maybe teacher teach to women is good. I think sometimes is the best option. Is the first option that they think, but I think I believe the things are changing. Yes, I think they are changing because we live in different time. In best time. Yeah.
You like this time, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, Ter, what about in Iraq? Which jobs do you think would be, maybe I can change the question, like what jobs do you think would be just for men, not for women in Iraq? Yeah.
Okay. You hear me, teacher?
Yes, I do. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. I think here in my country, we don't have a prevent or a prohibited job for women or men. We both do the same jobs. Exactly. Yeah. I don't find any job or any specialty that is different about men or women. So yeah, but I didn't find, for instance, a fighter woman or an army. I mean, in fighter, airplane fighter or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see any women here in my country do this job. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like a pilot. Yeah. Okay.
Like a pilot. Okay. All right. Rebecca, what about in Spain? What do you think? Are there jobs that are really only for men that women don't really do or shouldn't do? Rebecca, your microphone is muted.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes. Are there any jobs in Spain that are just for men but not appropriate for women, that you never see women doing those jobs?
Well, I think we can find some work where there are working men, but that is a question of strength, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Physical
in physical jobs, but in other jobs, both women and men can do it, you know.
Okay. All right. Okay, Rafael, what have you seen in Brazil?
Honestly, I was thinking, I've never seen a women clown. I don't know, maybe...
Oh, really? Okay.
Something just came out of my mouth right now. I've never seen a women clown.
Aha, interesting. Yeah, I think I've seen a couple here, but yeah, a lot of men are the clowns, that's for sure. Maybe it's also because it's something physical. They use a lot of physical humor or something. Okay. Rachid, what have you seen in the Netherlands about different jobs that women or men have? Rashid, your microphone is muted.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Typical men, I think I've seen women doing it, but jobs like computer developers, engineers, construction workers, that kind of things are not common. But yeah, I think that kind of jobs are typical men, I think. And woman is more in the nursery and that kind of things.
Yeah, typically.
So, yes.
That has been true. Okay. Amparo, what have you seen? Do you think women can do any job in Ecuador, or are there some that only men do? Well, you mentioned about the politicians. Amparo, are you there? Can't hear you. Okay, Alexi.
Okay, I think in my country the women cannot be a truck driver, but women can be a taxi driver, for example.
Oh, okay.
Because truck is very big and
very big.
It took more difficult get a driver license for women to truck.
Okay, interesting. Adela, what do you think? Are there any jobs in Spain that really only men do, or they only want men to do them?
I think no, because we don't have a limitation to any job to access to a job. Maybe they are physical more demanding, no, about the physical job, but they are different measures for women and for men. For example, in firefighter or another forestry firefighter.
Yeah.
But they are two possibilities to access to any job.
Okay. Yeah. Amparo, you came back. Did you want to answer?
I thought I told you plumber, mechanic.
Yeah,
They're not
mechanics.
traditional for, yeah,
Yeah.
they're not traditional for women. Nowadays you can find some taxi drivers, but it's not common also.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, and some of it's not necessarily discrimination or anything. It's just what people are interested in. So, maybe not too many women want to be car mechanics or something. But yeah, in some countries they can't. But in many countries nowadays you can do pretty much whatever. But sometimes you don't want to. Rashid, what is that? Dental hygienist or women? Yeah. Usually a dentist would be the man and the hygienist is the woman. Yeah. But it just depends. There are women dentists, but things are changing. Okay, guys, well, we used up our time, so let me just say thanks for coming to class, and I think I have a class or two tomorrow, so maybe I'll see some of you guys again this weekend. But if not, have a good weekend and take care.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Lisa.